Well, hello. Welcome to the Man Cave. See this? Grim from ear to ear. That's because, and I know one or two people have been asking me about it, I've had my date for my back operation next Wednesday. So the wait is over. And I'm really looking forward to getting through with it. What it does mean, however, is that it's going to be a while before I'm able to get out filming again. So we're looking at probably a month's break. Don't sigh relief, please. So I've been out and I've done one last video before I go for my procedure, shall we say. And this one, it's got an industrial theme to it. You wouldn't believe with how beautiful some of the areas are in the Peak District, certainly in the White Peak, how much industry there has been in the past. So I've gone out to find a little bit of evidence of the industrial history, the industrial heritage, if you like, of the White Peak. There's an awful lot more for me to go at, but that's what it's all about anyway. So yeah, have a look, see what you think, and I'll see you on the other side after my procedure. I might find a way of updating somehow on YouTube, but however, it is what it is, as one or two people have said in the past. So have a look through, see what you think, give me the thumbs up if you can, and if you've not subscribed, please do. It's free, don't cost anything. And I'm up to, I think it's 526 now, so yes, we're doing very well. And thanks to you all for your support, those that have subscribed. So yeah, okay, see what you think, and I'll see you next time. Cheers for now. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gents, folks. It's a lovely sunny day out here in the Peak District, and I'm sitting here with a grin across my face from my ear to ear. I'll tell you why later. I should have told you on the intro, I suppose, but I record the intro after I've done the film. But I'm here at the old smithy at Monash, which is a really popular cafe with bikers. It's a lovely place as well. But just look at this bike that's parked up outside. That is absolutely beautiful. 305 Honda, is that? He built it up 4 years ago. Stunning bike, is that? So we're going to have a look at a little bit of industrial history. I know I've done that sort of thing before, but I don't know how long this video is going to be. A number of times I've said I'm going to try and keep it short, but it doesn't work out. There's so much to put in. It was a bit wet and miserable this morning. I've been across to the hospital. What's really nice over the last few weeks is people have been genuinely wishing me well, because I'm due to go into hospital to have me. Well, it was going to be to have me back. Previously it was to have me back bolted together, but that didn't work ever so well, so I'm going in to have it glued together. And I actually got a date. I've been pestering them for 2.5 years, and I've actually got a date now to go in, and that's next Wednesday, the 1st of March. So this morning I went across to Stockport, to Stepping Hill at Stockport, and had yet another pre-op ready for next Wednesday. So the downside of it is that once I've been into hospital, had the procedure, as we call it these days, things are going to be a bit quiet on my score for about a month, because I've been told in no uncertain terms that my bike keys are going to be hidden and the garage door is going to be kept locked. I don't know why they think I'm not going to behave myself, but either way, that's the situation. Now we're going to come out up at the top here, and we'll see some mine workings, what's left of some mine workings across the field to the left. And it's reminiscent of the mine buildings, the mine remains in Cornwall at the tin mines. This whole area was very, very busy with lead mining back in the 19th and early 20th century. But this one across here, this is Magpie Mine. You can see there's a little bit of headgear there, and a lot of the buildings still. It's a listed building, and it's also the headquarters of Peak District Mines Historical Society. In caving circles we used to refer to them as puddums. But this mine in particular, this whole area was full of little private lead mines, and Magpie was about the biggest. But the other little mines were forever accusing the operators of the Magpie mine of stealing their mine workings, and this all went on for ages. And back in and the way they tried to get miners out of what they believed to be their mine workings, they set fires down underground and tried to smoke the miners out. Well, it all came to a little bit of a sad end. The mining started in 1740, by the way, and it carried on in different levels, if you like, until it finally closed down in 1954, which was quite recent, really. But yes, the opposing miners, shall we call them, used to light fires underground to smoke the what they considered to be the offending miners out. But sadly, it's 1833 it was that one of these operations took place, and 3 miners from Magpie Mine died. They suffocated, and it was attempted to at least take somebody to court for murder, but they could never find out who actually lit the fire, so there was never going to be a successful prosecution. But one of the widows of one of the miners who died put a curse on the mine. Now I don't know if the curse ever had any effect, but yes, there was a curse placed on the Magpie Mine. Now down here we're coming to the A6 that runs down from Buxton through Bakewell and onto Matlock. But just on the left here, I'm going to try and find some remains of it, but a vast majority of limestone was quarried on the surface, but there was a very special type of limestone that was actually mined, and it's known as Ashford black marble. The village in front of us beyond the hedge is Ashford in the Water, and over to the left of us there is an entrance still into it. There's Ashford black marble mine. You see, marble is basically limestone, but a very, very refined limestone, a long way down the metamorphic scale. Whereas this limestone here, not true marble, but it is very, very good quality and very dark, almost black. And it's been used to very highly polished and been used for all sorts of things, decorative stuff. Mantelpieces, pillars, that sort of thing. And I'm sorry I can't find it. There's an entrance over to the left there for Ashford black marble mine. But it's not in operation now, of course. There's a chamber, there's a massive chamber inside the marble mine, and I can remember at least one very different sort of a wedding reception that was held in, and it was a caver in actual fact. A caver I used to know back in the days of my caving days. This is the road up to Monsell Head now. I know I've said it before, but one of the things that sort of illustrates the fact that we're in the White Peak is the pale colour of the stone walls. I mean, the walls, there's a couple of guys building the walls there, repairing them at least. It's an art, it isn't a craft, it's an art in my opinion, to watch these guys working, and the end product is just beautiful. And we look around on a day like today, and these stone walls, they do make a very, very pretty picture all around us. I'm going to turn left here and eventually go through Crossbrook Dale. And this is Monsell Head, just here. Just look at that view down into Crossbrook Dale. Absolutely stunning. I'll just switch the engine off while we're stopped here. Now you should be able to see down there the viaduct. It was a railway viaduct, and it carried the trains, the lines that ran between Manchester and St Pancras in London. It went in about 1863, I think, was when the viaduct was built. It's now a cycle and walkway, and the tunnels along the line have been opened up now as well, so you can walk all the way through. But like I say, it carried the line that ran from Manchester to St Pancras in London. Finally taken up in 1968, closed as a result of, with so many, the same as so many, at the direction of Dr. Beeching. Dr. Beeching was employed to make recommendations to the government as to how to save a few quid. Ernest Marple was a Minister of Transport who actually signed the order, but it was Dr. Beeching who came up with the decisions and the suggestions. The fact that Ernest Marple had his fingers in all sorts of road haulage companies and operations, of course, had nothing to do with it. The fact that he wanted to get all the goods off the railway lines and onto the roads, he hadn't really got. There wasn't a conflict of interest there, was there? No, of course not. Anyway, so that's Monsell Head and its viaduct on the River Wye, the river that runs through the bottom, the river that's provided power for a number of textile mills, one of which we were riding past in a very few minutes. Now then, the building you can see in front of us, we're in Crossbrook Dale now, and this is Crossbrook Mill. The main building, the original building, the building to the left is a later addition. But this was a mill that dates back to around about 1830, and it was built, and the initial owner was Thomas Arkwright, more famous for his mill at Cromford actually. But that's the mill. It's now high-class apartments. Fancy name for flats, isn't it? Apartments. But either way, you can see the bell tower. The bell's still there, and that was to call the workers to work. And when I say workers, there was a lot of exploitation here. There's another mill further up the dale at Lytton Mill. You can't get to that from here, we'd have to come round all the way around the other side. But they both took the power from the River Wye running through, and they both exploited child labour. The kids, you see the roof space and you can see the clock face, and the clock face is actually a window. And where the kids weren't working, we're talking about really young kids, 10 if not younger, all housed up in the roof, and the only daylight they saw effectively was through those windows. There's a clock face on the other side as well, and that was the only daylight that would that came through to them. So yes, Crossbrook Mill was the centre of child labour exploitation, sadly. Actually went bankrupt in 1965. Now this is an absolutely beautiful valley. It's recovered dramatically from its days of industrial history, the Industrial Revolution, I suppose, really. But just a long here on the right, across the valley, I don't know if I get a proper view of it. There's a beautiful limestone crag, Ravensdale Crag. It was one of my favourite crags for climbing when I was sort of at the top of my game back in the 1980s and 90s. Yeah, you perhaps see through the trees. Might be able to make out Ravensdale Crag across there. Beautifully situated. But they've got problems in this valley at the moment. We haven't seen any at the moment, or if we have, I've missed them. Placards. There's placards all over the place. They might have been successful, I don't know. It appears that someone's bought quite a sizable plot of land in the valley. Oh, this is one of my favourite bits of road. I do like my hairpin bends, as regulars will know. But the person that's oh, my ECU light's gone off. That's something to celebrate. Little orange light on the dashboard keeps annoying me. Yes, this person or persons that have bought the land are intending to develop it, holiday accommodation, all that, on land that really will not get planning permission. So the locals are up in arms about it. Save Crossbrook Dale. There we go. These are the placards. I've signed up to it. I've signed the petition. Having brought about its recovery from the industrial days, I don't want to plunge it back into being spoilt again. Nice to see a few more out. Now this is where you really do get the effect of the stone walls across this section. It's just they're artistic in so many ways. Just beautiful to look at. Not natural at all, obviously. Field boundaries, property boundaries. What a beautiful view this is. Absolutely beautiful view. This is the village of Lytton. Lovely village. Not entirely unspoilt, but it's certainly not overdeveloped. Yes, next Wednesday, just harping back to my procedure, shall we call it. About 2.5 years ago, I had a little bit of metal work put in the small of my back to bolt a couple of vertebrae together. what's happened is the screws have come loose. I think I mentioned this before in other videos. So yes, people have been telling me for decades I've got a screw loose. Well, I have now, and I've got medical proof. So what they're going to do next Wednesday apparently is take the screws out, and then where the metalwork was holding my spine together, they're going to insert a couple of bits of bone and glue them in place to stabilise it. Or as my daughter insists on saying, that it'll be alright, Dad, they'll use no more nails. Huh. I think she's being funny. Now across on the right, I'm going to stop here, it's a bit well, it's a bit dismal, this story. That's the Peter Stone. You see the lump of limestone. You see some people in red and orange waterproofs, or at least jackets, with a dog. Well, there's one person with a dog, and that was the Peter Stone. But it had a second, up until about 1865, I think it was, it had a second use, and it was the Jibbet Stone. People were hung, brought out here to be hung, and then gibbeted. Gibbeted is when the bodies are left hanging in a cage, just to rot away until all that was left is bones. Gibbeting was outlawed in 1865. It is said that the last hanging in Derbyshire, or the last gibbeting in Derbyshire, was here a little bit earlier than that. But that was his secondary use, was a Jibbet Stone. A little bit more information about the Jibbet Stone. In 1815, there was a lady murdered, Hannah Oliver, a local lady from Wardlow Myers, just down the road here. She was murdered, for all things, for a pair of red boots by a fellow called Lingard from Tideswell. And he was found guilty and brought up here, hung, and then, like I said, his bones were left in the cage, chained to the gibbet, and left to rot. But that was 1815. That was long time ago. Every now and again we have to join an A road to get us from one little place to another. I do try and stay on the back roads wherever possible, but this is the A623, and down here is a cafe. We're not going to stop here today, but you have been here with me before. Well, some of you will have been on my Taylor 2 Cafes video. This is the Yonderman Cafe, former filling station, and a very, very popular cafe it is the Yonderman. Over there on the right hand side. Very quiet today though. We're losing height, dropping down into Stony Middleton. Very, very dramatic. Cliffs up to the left across the bottom of here. There's quite a few cave openings in the limestone down on the left hand side here. You can perhaps see the outline of the vertical limestone up through the trees above us, in front of us. I spent a lot of time climbing down here as well, back in the day, as they say. Now the lane up to the left, I'm not going up there because I've covered this before at a previous, it was the, I think it was the tale of two cafes that I covered it in. I'm just going to pull in just while I get things sorted out. Up to the left of us is the village of Eam, E-Y-A-M, but it's pronounced Eam. This was the plague village. This was the village that isolated itself in the 1660s to prevent the transmission of the Great Plague, the bubonic plague. When the plague found its way here via a bale of cloth ordered by the local tailor. But like I say, we've been through Eam before, so we'll not bother for now. I'm trying to keep this one as short as I can. So we carry on down through Stony Middleton. I'm going to have to stop recording very shortly because the rain's getting heavier and I don't want to drown another camera. It get a bit expensive. But down here, just beyond the cliffs that we can see at the moment, is Lover's Leap. It's an area on these cliffs called Lover's Leap, and it's 1762. Hannah Badley, a local lady, Hannah Badley. It's very, very dramatic when you look at it up here. Hannah Badley was jilted by her lover, William Barnsley, and she was so badly affected by it that she took herself to the top of the cliffs just down here in front of us, up on the left, and attempted suicide by throwing herself off. But of course, back in 1762, the ladies wore these voluminous skirts and petticoats. And the story goes, it's just up here where she threw herself off, above the Lover's Leap. Well, it used to be the Lover's Leap Cafe, in actual fact, just here. The wind, the air filled her skirts, and they acted as a parachute. And she had quite a much softer landing than she'd intended, and survived with cuts and bruises. Sadly, she died very shortly afterwards from natural causes, but yeah, Lover's Leap. And with that, I'm going to switch off because, like I say, it's the rain's a bit threatening now, so I'll sign off for now. Thanks for watching. Like I say, I'm going to be out of action for a month. I'll try and put some sort of an update on after my procedure, as we should call it. But yeah, if you found it interesting, enjoyable, if you give it a thumbs up, push the like button, and yeah, we're doing all right. We're doing all right for subscribers, but there's always room for more. I'm up to 526 subscribers. Oh, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So yes, thanks very much. Thanks for your support. And but like I say, there's always room for more. So however long it takes, I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.